everyone, welcome to my channel, Hands-On Finances with me, Donna Jean. So today we're going to talk about sinking funds. And I remember when I first started budgeting back in early 2020, there were a million different terms and acronyms and things I was just clueless about. And I just remember being so confused. And one of the earliest ones was sinking funds. I saw it on the Budget by Paycheck workbook that I downloaded from the Budget Mom that I showed you in the last video that I'll link above here if you haven't watched that already. And I just remember not really totally understanding what it was and how it could help me. So the purpose of this video today will hopefully help some of you learn what a sinking fund is, why they're helpful, how to calculate them, and then at the end I'll show you what sinking funds I currently have and how I use them. So first, most basic thing we need to go over is what is a sinking fund. I remember hearing this term and thinking like your kitchen sink and feeling so lost and confused about what it was. I remember seeing it in the Budget by Paycheck workbook from the Budget Mom when I first downloaded it. There's a list and like sinking funds, what in the world? I later found out what it was. So in the most basic terms, it's when you save money over a set amount of time or duration of time for a very specific reason. So what you're doing is putting smaller amounts into a sinking fund every pay period, month, whatever your duration is. So what we do with our family is we do by paycheck. We get paid twice a month and we put our sinking fund money away every 2 weeks or twice a month basically. So why we use sinking funds, how they're useful, and basically the point of them is it's easier to save $50 per pay period over 12 months than it is to just come up miraculously with $1,000 in a month or 2 months time when you realize, oh no, this bill's due. What am I gonna do? So this just helps you prepare for the future, for bills that you know that you're going to have and things that you want to buy and save for, and to set yourself up for success basically. Now this is a good example of what a sinking fund can look like. So you have your item that you're buying or purchasing or saving for. In this example, it's car insurance. I believe this is pretty close to what my husband and I pay for car insurance. We pay every 6 months, and I know a lot of people pay monthly because that's what they can afford. And you end up paying more per month than you would if you were to pay every 6 months or yearly if your insurance company allows you to. The premium is higher when you pay monthly compared to a lump sum at once. So it's really helpful if you're able to save using a sinking fund for something like car insurance that you know is going to come up every 6 months or once a year, and you're able to save money at the end because you paid for it up front. And I think that's just great. So that's what we've been doing over time. The goal amount is the cost of the car insurance, which is $600, and that's every 6 months that bill will happen. Now you take that 600 and you divide it by 12. We're using 12 because in our family we are paid twice a month, and that ends up being $50 per paycheck saved. $50 a paycheck or $100 a month basically. So once you hit that 6 month mark in that sinking fund, you'll have $600 and you're able to pay that car insurance bill off completely and not have to worry about it. And then the next month you're going to start saving for it again, and you won't have to worry about it. So some of my sinking funds that I have currently are Christmas. I save for birthdays, holidays, for people in my family, Josie expenses, which is our dog. We have an Australian Shepherd. I actually took her to the vet last week for her yearly vaccinations and checkup, and they suggested, since now she's a senior dog, poor puppy, that she get some blood work done just to see how her organs are functioning. And one thing did come back. I just got a call from the vet last night saying that she may be anemic. They're not sure totally. So we're going to run some more blood tests, or the same blood test again to verify that. So I had to take her back next week. So that's another visit. That's another blood work. And I just have a set amount. I think it's $100 per month. So $50 a paycheck, similar to the car insurance. And that way I'm more prepared for when her vet bills come up, or when the Chewy subscription comes out once a month for her food and treats and things like that. And I'm not scrambling trying to spend or trying to find $1,000, $2,000 because something went wrong at the vet and now I have to pay for it. So I was able to use our Josie's sinking fund last week to pay $292 that we spent at the vet for some heart, flea, and tickworm and her blood work. And hopefully, I believe I still have some more money in that sinking fund that I'll be able to pull from next week when I have to take her back for the second visit. And that's great, because then I don't have to pull into our emergency savings, because guess what? Dogs, animals are expensive, and we know that, and we can prepare for that. If you can't afford it, maybe you shouldn't have an animal, or we have to better prepare. And this is how we do it. And this is how I'm able to see, okay, what can we would really love a second dog, but can we afford a second dog? And you can use sinking funds to figure that out for you and your family. Another one is vacations. Currently, we don't have anything planned or in the works, but we have a specific amount set every month aside. That way, when we do have something that pops up that we want to do, we have some money towards that. Car insurance, which was the first example. Car repairs. Everyone knows, car repairs are going to happen. And even general maintenance is going to happen. Brakes and oil changes, wiper blades, things are going to go on your car. And you need to be prepared, and I think that sinking funds can really help with that. We also have our emergency fund. We try to replenish that. We don't really touch it very much, thankfully, right now. And we have $100 set aside every month that goes into that just to keep it growing, because guess what? Inflation's real, right? I think everyone's feeling that at the gas tank and at the grocery stores. Things are costing more. And if you were to lose your job, like I did recently, or, whatever the case may be, you're able to afford it. I think everyone should be increasing their emergency funds a little bit, because inflation is real. And then the last sinking fund I have is yearly subscriptions. Now that's Amazon Prime, that's gym memberships, Chewy, my Chewy subscription for my dog's dog food, you name it, whatever yearly subscriptions you might have can go in this. And that way you're just prepared for when that amount comes out of your account, and you're good to go. So that's basically what a sinking fund is. And I think they can be really helpful in figuring out what you can actually afford. For example, birthdays and Christmas, you might go out shopping or see something online on Amazon and say, that'd be perfect for my sister or brother or whomever. And it's $500. And you're like, oh, I didn't really plan for that. Now, I have a specific amount. That word keeps coming up. Specific. It's very intentional and on purpose. And I think that's a lot of what budgeting has to be. It doesn't mean you can't have some wiggle room or have fun with it, but I try to stick to those parameters, and that's how we're able to save money and live a really good life. But for birthdays, I'll set aside $50 per person per birthday. And that way I don't go over budget. I know what I can afford, and I look for items within that price range. Now, that doesn't mean if I saw a $500 item for my significant other that I wouldn't get it. I might create another sinking fund and then save for it down the road, or for an anniversary or so forth. That's another sinking fund you can have. Anniversaries, Valentine's Day, which is coming up. And that way you can just save for it, spend the money, and you don't have to feel guilty about it. So I hope that you were able to learn what a sinking fund is, how you can use it and implement it into your budget, and how it can really help you save for your future and just be prepared. Now, please remember to like, subscribe, and share this post. And please let me know if there's any sinking funds that you have that I didn't think of, or any questions you might have about sinking funds, or if you would like some more details about it, I'd be happy to give it. I'll see you next time.